Hello everyone, I hope you're having a fabulous day. Sorry if my voice is a little raspy. So I'm making a card with Mama Elephant's Carnival Cupcakes, Carnival Toppers, and Inline letters. I'm right now stamping my images in Memento Desert Sand and masking them off. I'm going to ink blend a background, so I need to stamp them and mask them so that I can do my background. I'm stamping on a piece of Strathmore Bristol cardstock because I want to do the ink blending background and also color my images with colored pencils, and the Bristol paper is awesome for both of those techniques. I am not great at coloring, but it's easier with this Bristol paper, I can tell you that. I'm using my L from the My Sweet Petunia's Creative Corners in my Misty to line everything up, and it makes it a lot easier. I'm stamping this balloon, which is a solid stamp, in Simon Says Stamps Fog Fog ink. Not Fard, Fog. So once I have everything masked, I'm going to use a piece of masking paper and start blending the bottom. I'm using Distress inks, and the bottom is pumice stone. If you're not careful and start slow with pumice stone, it can easily look like dirt on your paper. So start really easy and just build up the color. So once I have that one done, I'm going to move on to the top portion of my background, and I'm going to use Distress Ink Tattered Rose. It's a really soft pink, and my niece, she's going to be 5 years old in April, so I thought this was perfect for her. I'm going around the bottom and around my image to make like a halo of this Tattered Rose color with my ink blending tool. So once I feel like I have enough color, I'm just going to peel everything off, and then you get to see the images all masked and ready to be colored. So I'm using my Prismacolor colored pencils, and I use very light pressure. I am not a colorist, and I just go over and over the image and build up the color to try to prevent creating that waxy buildup, and just be able to build up the color and create some shadows and some highlights. And I'm using probably 2 or 3 different colors on each portion of my image. I love the look of colored pencils. It takes me back to when I was a kid and I used to color with crayons, and I don't even blend it completely. I love the lines of the colored pencil look. I just think it's very fun, and the soft look of the pencils is just something I really like. So I'm just going to annoyingly go over and over the image until I feel like there's enough color. You won't have to watch me color this whole image. I'm just going to show you the bear. So now I'm using Mama Elephant's Femme frames. This is the smaller of the two frames in the set, the stitched rectangle to cut out my front panel. And now I'm using the Inline letters from Mama Elephant to personalize the card for my niece, Ella. So I'm going to use that L from the Creative Corners from My Sweet Petunia to try to just line everything up. You can also use your T ruler, any kind of ruler, and try to line these and not make them as crooked. So it's easier for me to just start with a couple letters instead of trying to get as many letters on there as possible. I think it turns out better when I do this. I'm also going to die cut 4 other layers of these letters in Nina 80-pound cardstock and build up the dimension and do a camouflage technique. So take a piece of typing paper and cover it with adhesive. Okay, that's what I'm doing now. And put it on the back of those letters, and that's going to help you keep those letters in place. So I start with my first layer. The 4 layers are going to be the Nina white cardstock, and then you're going to finish off each layer with the ink blended top portion that you originally cut out. I'm just using Ranger Multi-Medium Matte to adhere each one of my layers. And this is really truly for those people that pray for patience, because it takes some time. You have to be patient and just layer by layer line it up. But I think it's a great technique. I love doing this. One of my favorite things to do. I think it's really cool and subtle. And this is a great way to personalize things, especially birthday cards, and especially for children. So I have all my letters lined up, and I'm using the other die from the Femme frames, the scalloped rectangle, and I'm going to adhere that onto my card base, which is Simon Says Stamp Fog cardstock, and that's just another piece of the Bristol that I cut that out of. I'm now using a piece of white craft foam, and I'm just cutting it out so I can pop up that front panel with my image on it. I'm going to use 1/4 inch score tape to adhere it to the panel and to the card base. It's a nice strong adhesive and it keeps everything in place. So once I have my front panel attached to my card base, I'm going to use Ranger's Enamel accents in white, and I'm going to fill in those sprinkles that are on top of the cupcake. I imagine the cupcake being covered in icing, because that's awesome, and these are the white little sprinkles on top of the cupcake. And that's it. That's my card for today. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you.
Do you like this video?
Do what?
Big thumbs up.